name's Amanda. This is my Storytime in a box. Inside this box, you're going to find everything you need for a successful story time for middle school age children, ages 12 to 15. Our theme for this box is magic, or magicians versus wizards. Secondary themes include friendship, bravery, and teamwork, and we're going to apply those directly to the characters in each book. Now, you're thinking, story time for middle school kids? You can do it. You just won't read the entire book. You actually will probably read 1 or 2 chapters. But I highly recommend doing a read around because middle school age children actually still want to read out loud. They're not self-conscious about it, in my experience. And it's kind of fun because it's a teamwork building experience. If you have one book, just pass it around the circle. It helps them keep track of their place in the story, so they're actively listening. And it teaches them to share one book. So I've selected 4 books for our box. First up are Magicians. Nothing Up My Sleeve by Diana Lopez is a story about 3 middle school age children who are having a not so stellar summer because of life events. Each person needs to learn how to recognize the other person's differences, embrace them, and build stronger friendships. To distract themselves, they find a love for magic as they work in a magic shop all summer long to train for the Amateur Texas Magicians competition. And now for another magician, we have on the lower end of the scale, this is for 11 to 12-year-olds, Neil Patrick Harris's The Magic Misfits. This is about a young boy, Carter, who lives with his Uncle Sly, who is not exactly above board. He uses his magic tricks and skills to steal from people. It drives Carter crazy, and one day he goes too far, and Carter decides to run away. What he finds? Friendship, an incredible magical heist, his own bravery, and learns how to work in a team. Our next book is a wizard book, and there's no more famous wizard in middle grade or young adult reading than Mr. Harry Potter. So of course he's going to be in this box. Mr. Harry Potter's books can be in any box, all of them, and you will have wonderful programming because there's just so much to this. It covers all of our themes, friendship, bravery, teamwork, along with so much more. There's just so much you can learn from this. It has great vocabulary building skills. Any book from this series could be put in here. However, I chose to do Sorcerer's Stone. Our last book is another wizard, and this is kind of an interesting take on wizards. You haven't seen wizards like you have seen in this book before. This book is extremely detailed and illustrated, and it's a fun read. This is The Wizards of Once by Crescenda Club. The Wizards of Once is a story about Czar and Wish. Czar is a wizard whose magic hasn't come in yet, and Wish is a warrior princess who is supposed to be the sworn enemy of wizards like Czar. Somehow, one day, their worlds collide and they have to figure out how to work together, be loyal to one another, and build a friendship to escape the evil queen. You'll see, one of my favorite things about this book are all the really awesome illustrations. And in fact, it inspired the first activity. Our first activity is called Felt Finish the Story. All you're going to need is a felt board. These are really easy to make. A piece of cardboard, some felt, hot glue. Any color felt you want. The next thing you're going to need for Felt Finish the Story are some graphic novel pieces. Now what I did was I found some scrapbook paper that looked like graphic novels. I laminated it and then I glued felt to the back. So I ended up with these nifty little boxes that you can actually draw on. I recommend using Sharpie and then just alcohol wipes because you most likely will have Sharpies in your box. It is a must. And alcohol wipes will wipe it right off the laminate. How they're going to use this is you're going to have them in groups of 2 to 3, it depends on how many you have actually participating in the program, come up with. You're going to read 1 or 2 chapters from the book. And like I said, this is for The Wizards of Once, although you could use it with any of the books here. After the story, you're going to have them pick out major things that happened in those chapters, and then you're going to have them finish it the way they think it should finish. It's okay if they've already read the book, they can just add to it and make it their own. Our next activity is character stuffed animals. These are super popular and super fun, and you can do these again for any of the books. However, today I've chosen to use Mr. Harry Potter as our book for this activity. So what you're going to need is a template, and there are tons of places where you can find free felt templates. This one happens to be from Down Under Farms. It is for Hedwig. And you're going to need felt, hot glue, Sharpies, and you'll come up with something like this. Oh, and cotton balls. What you do is you cut out the template, you trace it onto your felt, and then you're going to hot glue around the edges. You're going to rip the cotton balls apart and stuff them inside. You're going to leave just a slight hole at the very bottom of the stuffed animal. And then you're going to just stuff it up, glue it up, and voila, Hedwig. Very popular. You can do multiple characters. There are tons of places to find free templates. Our next activity can also be used for Harry Potter. It's Luna's Spectrospecs. This is super easy. There happens to be several templates online that look like this that you can just cut out the actual glasses frame. So you're going to need cardstock and colored plastic wrap, hot glue, and then if you want any embellishments that are optional, you can have glitter glue, sequins, things like that. What you end up with is some pretty cool glasses that will help you find narcles. This one is kind of specific to Harry Potter. Unlike the other activities, you can actually use for any book. This one, you probably want to stick with Harry Potter since it's specifically about one character. Our next activity actually can be used for all the books. Fortune tellers. In each one of these books, there's some point where each character needs to figure out their future or their fortune. There are tons and tons of fortune teller templates online. You'll often find them called cookie catchers. This happens to be a blank one. So you're going to need, and you can just print this on regular printer paper because they're going to cut it up anyway. And if you want to go strictly Harry Potter, there happens to be an origami starting hat. So there's several ways to actually do the fortune tellers. One, you can actually print out the templates, have them cut them up, and make their own fortune tellers that way. Two, you can give them origami paper and have them do the folds and create them that way. These are kind of fun. They are a little more delicate because it's on origami paper, but they're super, super fun and easy to make. Once you learn the folds, you can make tons and tons and tons of them, and trust me, middle school kids will be making these all day long once you give it to them. Our next activity goes directly with our two magicians, particularly Mr. Neil Patrick Harris's book, The Magic Misfits. Inside this book alone, there are tons and tons of magic tricks and tips that you can practice and learn. So this book is a program in itself. However, cards are a big deal in both books, playing cards. So what I did was I found a website, and you probably have a book on the shelf, or you can find tons and tons of websites. You don't have to use the one I did. And I found tricks. Sleight of hand, an 11 card trick. I laminated the instructions, and you're going to want to have several boxes of cards. Now, with this, you should always have cards in your library. Playing cards are a fun way. They're easy games. Kids love them. Any age, it doesn't matter. Adults, you're going to want to pair them up, team them up. 2 to 3 usually is ideal. However, it depends on your participants. It's better if they work together as teams to learn the tricks because they can help each other. And again, one of our main themes, or our secondary themes, is teamwork. Now with this, you're also going to want to use your iPad and a nifty app called Zoom. And the reason why I bring this up is, and this is totally optional, it's up to you if you want to bring technology into this story time. However, Zoom lets you make movies by taking single shots of things. And it's a really cool thing if you want to create a movie of their nifty card tricks and then share it on your social media of the library. Our last activity can be used for all the books. However, it's based off of Mr. Harry Potter, but all the characters in this book use some sort of magical object, and most likely some sort of enchanted magical object, and most likely it is a wand. There are tons of instructions. You can use wooden dowels, all kinds of things you can use to make wands. However, the easiest, the quickest, and the most effective one I found is how to make Harry Potter's wand out of construction paper and hot glue. This is just a piece of actual origami paper. The embellishment on it is simply hot glue that you wrap around and let it dry. But you can get a little more creative. This is construction paper, glitter glue, and hot glue. And then if you're really feeling like you want to embellish that wand, you can do construction paper, sequins, hot glue, and glitter. It's fun, it's messy, and you want to try to make sure that these are middle school age children. They're probably not going to poke each other's eyes out, but try to keep the ends a little dull so that they don't accidentally. Now, with all of these activities, you always want to have in the background some sort of music going. So I recommend always having in your Storytime box, no matter what age, no matter what theme, a portable Bluetooth speaker. This cost me about $100, but it is loud, it has good sound, and it is super, super portable. Also, you always want to have with you an iPad, your own personal phone, whatever you have a music playing app on. You could use YouTube and stream videos to your Bluetooth speaker so you can hear the music out of there. Or I highly recommend actually getting a subscription to Spotify. It's not that expensive and it is super, super easy to use. And you can actually share and build playlists in programs with your kids. It's a lot of fun. Music is a great bonder for everyone. So this is our magic box. If I went a little too fast, or if you want more details or are my useful resources, look in the description below. There's 2 documents there. You're going to find, one will be the transcript of this video. 2 will be an actual handout that has all the books listed with their descriptions, as well as all the activities with their descriptions and links and the useful resources that I found in building this box. So this is my magic Storytime box for children ages 12 to 15.